Hello and welcome to Owen the Town match preview. And today, to talk about Millwall after the international break, I have Chris from Chat with Chaps. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to the conversation, mate.
Yeah, we're just a brief one. We're just going to talk a little bit about how we expect the game to go and your key players and things like that.
Mhm.
Luton haven't had the most amazing start this season, but Millwall haven't done too badly, have they? And it's not been that bad. I know they've got an amazing result against Sheffield Wednesday,
Mm.
which for me came sort of out of the blue. Uh,
Likewise.
and maybe a disastrous result against Bristol City. Where do you stand on your start this season?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're before the start of the season. I'll be totally honest. I had us as a bottom half side. I'm not really a particularly optimistic Millwall fan, but that's where I kind of had us. And the first four games, performances have been better than I think the points tally. And I'm not a deluded Millwall fan. I genuinely believe that we lost to your rivals Watford in the last minute. Our goalkeeper let one in from a corner directly. All sorts happened in that game that we just had to kind of write off. Bristol City, we had a mad 20 minutes, went 2-0 down. We then clawed it back to actually went ahead 3-2, and then we lost in the last minute again. And then since then, we've got a good point on the road at Hull, and then we absolutely destroyed Sheffield Wednesday last week, who were I can't work out if we were really good or they were really poor. So it's been an okay start. 4 points, 4 games. Performances probably deserve more points than that, but I don't think we've played anyone yet that I would say is a top six side. So I think it'd be interesting. And incidentally, I know you're currently in the bottom three, but I do have you down as a top six side. So really looking forward to testing ourselves against you on Saturday.
As we've spoken before, that I was disappointed about Luton start, but we haven't played that badly. We haven't played that bad. We've not been scoring as much as we need to. So I'm expecting a really good game at the weekend. Your players, for Luton fans who really haven't looked at Millwall for a season because we've been away in that fairyland up in the Premier League, who do we need to look out for? Which on your team would we look at and go, oh, he's a bit of a player?
Yeah, and I think there's a couple of players that I think you should keep your eye on offensively. So one is a young lad called Romain Esse, will most likely start on the right hand side. Um, England under 19 international, just signed a new contract with us. He's one player that we've produced. He's one of our own, and he will go on to play in the Premier League. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. He is an excellent prospect. Was in and out of the team last season, but he started all the games this year. 2 goals and assist. He's started the season really, really well. So he's definitely one to watch. Can't believe I'm saying this, but on the left hand side, Duncan Watmore, an experienced Championship player, now 30 years old. He's got 4 goals and 2 assists in the opening 4 games. He's been unbelievable. He's in the form of his life. And if he keeps that up, he'll definitely give you some problems. And then obviously Josh Coburn, who signed on loan from Middlesbrough, is our number 9 at the moment and has scored on his debut. And he's a Millwall type number 9. I think he'll do well for us. Defensively, we've got Japhet Tanganga, who I think we're really fortunate to get permanently. He was excellent last season in the back end when we signed him on loan. And no coincidence that he's come back into the team and we've got 2 clean sheets. And then the final one would be Ryan Leonard, someone that you probably never heard of and wouldn't blame you for that. He's our right back. He's 32 years of age. He's a converted midfielder, but I firmly believe he is one of, if not the best one-on-one defender. Just one-on-one defender. I'm not saying he's the best right back in the league, but best one-on-one defender in the league. He is outstanding, and he'll definitely give Alfie Doughty will know he'll be in the game on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that Alfie performs really well at the weekend. I don't think our form can be as bad as it's been. I don't think there's got to be a change, and I'm sort of crossing everything that you're the unlucky team that actually sees us have a good game. But as we both know, games between our clubs have always been fairly tight. They've never been a real big demolishing of a team, has there? It's always been fairly tight. Do you see that happening this weekend? Do you see it being sort of like a really tough match?
Absolutely. I think the international break came at a good time for you. I was kind of moaning about it because obviously it's only 4 league games in and there's already an international break. I think England are about to kick off as we're talking. But I think it came at a good time for you to reset. You've had a lot of clientele change over the summer, so I think that will help you. Have a lot of admiration for a lot of your players. I would give my right hand to have either Carlton Morris or Adebayo up front. I think they're both excellent players. And you've still got a lot of the nucleus of the team that was up there last season. So I fully expect you to be a top 6 side. I know 4 games in, but I don't think you can read anything into it. And I think it'd be a massive battle on Saturday. It will be a good atmosphere because both of our 2 teams always give us that. It's not rivalry, but I don't think there's any love lost. And I think a lot of that is because we're quite similar in the sense we're underdogs. And I think there's a little bit there. And I fully expect it to be a bit of a tenacious and hostile game. And we have to see who comes out on top of it.
It's always been that the new den, the old den at Kenilworth Road for obvious reasons. I've always looked. I've never not come to the new den, by the way, since it's been built and we've been playing. I've always come up there, but I don't see many times that we win, and that disappoints me. I feel that it's going to be you're right. It's going to be a tough game, and I think first goal is important for us. If we get the first goal, then maybe we can take it on from there. If Carlton Morris has his boots on and Eli can score, then I think you might find it a little bit tougher than in previous seasons. The biggest thing is there's no VAR, which is brilliant. Can't stand it. Can't stand it. It's a difficult one for me just to even think about, how we're going to play. So I think we're going to come out fast. I think we're going to come out strong. Do Millwall start games like that, or do they just they're at home and do they go gung ho straight away, or is it a nice slow build up? Because we started playing out from the back quite a lot, and sometimes just think, just get it up there, just play that long ball once or twice. What's Millwall's style this season?
Yeah, and it's interesting because the style has certainly evolved this season. Neil Harris has always been a big sort of 4-4-2, big man up top, long, big, big, long, direct balls. But we have evolved that style. But the one thing that's consistent is we get the ball forward very quickly. And I like that. And what you'll find on Saturday is the first 10, 15 minutes will come flying out the blocks, which you'll need to be prepared for. And we will try and create, put you on the back foot. We are better against teams that have a lot of the ball and play it from the back because one of our strengths is our pressing and winning balls back high up the pitch. So if you decide to sort of fanny around with it at the back, then that'll be, welcome to us. So, yeah, it's going to be a really interesting battle of styles. I personally think it will be won and lost by the forwards and the centre back pairings. I know it's an obvious comment, but in Carlton Morris and Elijah Adebayo, it's just 2 top quality players, and if they hit form, we're in for a bit of trouble. Whereas if we can get that first goal and put you on the back burner and drain that confidence from you, it could go the other way.
It's definitely a confidence thing. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Our match previews are really brief, and your insight has been fascinating. So we just need an insight to what you think the score might be.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a not particularly useful for either club 1-1 draw. I think that it's so difficult. I can see it being any eventuality of scores. So I'm going to go right down the middle, 1-1 draw. Not sure if I would take that or not, to be fair, but yeah, that's what I'm going to go, 1-1 draw.
Well, given our results so far, I might have to take that 1-1, but I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to be optimistic, Dave, and I'm going to say we cannot have this poor form as much as we've had. And it's not poor form, not scoring. So I'm going to go, and I'm fingers crossed here that we can get a 2-0. That's what I'm going to go for. But it doesn't really matter what I think, as long as the players get out there and do it. You create content for Millwall Football Club. Where can our fans come and see your reaction afterwards? And I believe you do a lot of stuff for cancer research.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, so the podcast is called Chat with Chaps. Can be found on X, or I still can't get used to saying X, on Twitter, X, Chat with Chaps 89, and the YouTube handle is just Chat with Chaps. Produce a lot of content similar. Obviously, you've been on our show, so thank you for that, Dave. We do post-match reactions. I'd like to think I'm fairly balanced. I'm not going to be someone that comes on there regardless of whether we win, lose, or draw, that, you know, just says, oh, we should have won and it's all the referee's fault. That's not my style. Had Benjamin Bloom on recently. We interview ex-players, and we're fairly new. So all subscribers are welcome. And everything we're doing this year is going to Cancer Research UK. So even if you don't like us, please give us a subscribe, because you'll be safe in the knowledge that it's going to a good home.
Fantastic. I'll be sure to tune in to see what you say afterwards. Thanks for coming on, Chris. It's been a delightful conversation. I hope we have another one at the end of when for the return fixture. All the best Saturday to a certain point. And I'll see you there. Thanks for coming on. If you'd like to subscribe, you haven't done that already on YouTube, please do that. It does go a long way to getting our content out there and everybody else seeing it as well. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.